I noticed that depending on where speakers look at, the sound is different. So I'm going to try to see if it works. And well, I know it sounds funny. I'm not sure it is. Let me explain. So I think that we people have taken things for granted, and we didn't realize that we have a big impact on our planet. So I'd like to share with you some ideas that I've been ruminating in the last few years, and also some initiatives that we are working on at Visuality related with this topic, which make me feel really proud about what we designers can do and how can we improve our lives. So I'm going to try to say the things I find most important for everyone in the world. Let's assume that I'm right. If not, I will just have to leave the presentation, and I have a few minutes, so I'm going to see if I'm able to summarize everything. So the first thing is humans. To me, I am very important. That sounds obvious, but sometimes it's not. Also my family, my friends, my neighbors, people in my city, my country, why not? Well, in general, in the world. So people. That's one of the things that I think is the most important for everyone. Then we have species. When biologists talk about species, they not just talk about animals. They also talk about insects, plants, habitats, or genes, our DNA. So I think this is also really important. And the third thing is the home to all these things, so for humans and for species, because it's our home, so it's the place we all live in. I think that these three groups make the most important things for everyone in the world. I'll do my best to explain things. So in this graph, you can see the global income in the world, right? What I want to flag here is that if you consider these numbers, you can see that we are all richer than 85% people in the world. So just by earning, well, we belong to the 15% richest people in the world, just by earning $1,000, as we saw in the chart, which is more or less 10,000 euros a year. Just earning this amount of money, we are more or less better than almost 6,000 million people in the world, which is amazing. We may think that we don't earn enough money and we don't have enough money, and maybe we are right. But there are people living in different situations and different circumstances. So I guess this is also important. In the chart, you could see that there are people that belong to 20% that live with just $1.50 a day. I don't really know how they do it. I don't know how they manage to make their best and have food, have education, have paid their rents, live somewhere. Some people obviously don't have all these things, but they do it. And I think that we need to take this into consideration. And also in the chart, there's 1% is this fine line in red, which is people that, well, we cannot see their earning because we would need a chart as big as the building that Godzilla used to climb just to show their earnings. So they are not in this chart. So the difference between people in the world is just amazing. So what I mean is that we are all interconnected, and everything that we do, everything we consume, everything we wear, everything we do is going to affect someone in the rest of the world. In this platform that we work with Insight to Impact, we try to help people understand to these 20% of the people that have less money than many other people in the world. We try to make them understand how they can spend their own money. So taking national surveys that came from indicators on demographics and economics, they have at least tools to understand about their money. So in this first one, the national surveys, people can understand the money that they have in a global overview. So we can see how these countries are doing, the numbers, the big figures of all the information in their countries. With the financial diaries, which is this old one, households can see their own expenses. Well, this is anonymous. All this information is anonymous, but it's the way for other people to try to get tools for these people. And you can see here information for households, but you can also see information per individual. So they can see the money that they have and where to spend the money, and maybe calculate in a better way how to go to get to the end of the month. And as I was saying, we are all interconnected, but we also coexist with the other three main groups that I said at the beginning that are the most important for everyone. So 70% of the people in the world, or the poor people in the world, need species, biodiversity, for their surveillance and well-being. And that's why I want to talk about a little bit about biodiversity. But I'm not a scientist, so I'm going to do my best to explain what biodiversity is. If there are scientists in this room, please forgive me. I'm doing my best as a designer. So, biodiversity sustains life on Earth, and every species, every single species, is unique and has an important role that provides this web of life. Every time that one species disappears, the impact ripples out and can cause unimaginable consequences. So for the health of our planet, we need biodiversity. They provide clean air, food, rich soil, materials to build nests, dams, burrows, medicines to heal wounds and ease pain, and many other things. So this is just an example. But if there were no bees that can pollinate the flowers, we wouldn't have some kind of food. So we wouldn't have fruit and some vegetables. So we wouldn't have a lot of the food that we need, and not just us, also other species. So it's something that belongs and helps everyone in the planet. You know the rivet model. This is, imagine that you are inside an aircraft flying, and you start unstitching rivets. You can unstitch one or two, nothing's happening, maybe 3, 4. But if you unstitch plenty of them, the aircraft just falls down. So the same happens with nature. Exactly the same. That's why biodiversity is that important. This guy was the guy that invented the term biodiversity. And he said that everything that we do can change the course of our lives and the species, and we can lose food. The soil that is the eternal forgiving. We don't realize that we need soil for many different things, and everything that you can do can impact resources somehow. So with this guy, we are working on a project called Half Earth. The Half Earth is a call to protect 50% of the areas in the planet. And it's not just about preserving Earth is also about preserving the water. So the ongoing massive extinction, pandemics, the World War, and the climate change are the biggest threats that we humans have imposed ourselves. So for us and for the future generations to come, we need to start doing something. The theory of this guy is about why to preserve half of the Earth. Well, the crucial factor of life and death is to have a suitable space for species. If we remove 90% of an habitat, species will descend to a 50%. And if we protect 50% or more of the surface of the Earth, 85% of or more species will survive. We are right now in the 17% of the areas protected in our planet. So with this project, we want to find the right places to preserve species. And right now we are killing species at 1,000 times the natural rate. Scary, right? So the damage that we are doing to species affect our planet, affect our resources, affect us. So take care of it. In this graph, you can see it's a very good synthesis of what it is, but you can see how in the last 150 years, temperature has increased 1.5 degrees. Some people say that by the end of this century, the temperature will increase up to 4 degrees. And this is just a conservative version. There are other people's predictions that talk about 6 degrees up to 8 degrees. So in 2015, in COP in Paris, 196 countries committed and agreed that we should do something for climate change. They all accepted that climate change is a fact. Well, some of these countries are not collaborating with this agreement anymore. I think you know what I mean, right? So in this project called Climate Watch, the idea is to help these countries to assess how they're doing related with the commitments that they made in 2015. So they have a tool where they can check all this progress, but not just them. Also, other countries can compare themselves with the other countries. Obviously, every country has a different, have very different commitments, so they have to act in a different way because it depends on where they are. They have different conditions, so it's not the same for everyone. Here, you have different tools. It's also for everyone. It's public, so everyone can consult this information. You can see all the information related to your country. So you can see if they committed to something and they are working on it or not. So this other section is the national determined contributions, where you can de facto see if they are doing well in these topics related with the Sustainable Development Goals. And also you can see the linkages between the national determined countries and the Sustainable Development Goals. So we have a powerful tool where we can check all this information. This is another project, but I wanted to bring this graph here, where you can see Spain. You can see how the temperature has changed from 1970s and the predictions of how our country will be in 2040. So you can also see the city of Barcelona, and in this chart you can see how the average temperature is going to increase, has increased a lot, and it's going to increase more or less like 5 degrees. This is what is going to happen here in Barcelona, and it's not the same in different places in the world. So it's the average for the city of Barcelona. It's not the average for all the places in the world. As a friend of mine says, we are sleepwalkers going to the abyss. And I think it's quite true. We don't realize of the impact of all the things that we do and we consume. And we should take care of it. We should take care of our planet, of all the species, and of humanity. So it's about inequality, biodiversity, and climate change, which all together are sustainability. And sustainability is for all of us. So I want to ask you a couple of things. The first one is, what can I do? What can we do? What can you do as individuals? Well, I've heard many times that if I do something, nothing's going to change. Just me changing my behavior is not going to affect anything. I think this is a big lie. So what I would say is that we all can change our behaviors and we can change the way we consume. We have to review our needs. We have to review everything we do and summing up all the things that we all together can change. We will make a big difference. So also as designers, what can we do? I think it depends on what you understand that design is. To me, design serves different purposes. And we can do a lot of different things. We can change the course of many different things. We can change the way products have been conceptualized and how they work. We can change people's consumers' habits. We can change how business leaders are deciding their strategies, and we can help them make better decisions, and we can also help change how governments are doing, how all the people are doing. We have a lot of very powerful tools that we can share, and we can do very meaningful things. To me, design is to decide, and to help people decide. So let's decide. Instead, let's design and work together. Thank you very much.